One other big thing, Dana Rohrabacher, one of these members of Congress, a Republican, pressed Hillary Clinton twice during these hearings on whether she thought those CIA interrogation memos described by Cheney should be declassified. Clinton first said, "I believe that we ought to get to the bottom of this entire matter." She was pressed again, and then she said, "I will support whatever decision the Obama administration makes." So already the torture memos and those comments by the former Vice President Dick Cheney have come up in this hearing, because this is the first hearing that Secretary of State Hillary Clinton has been a part of on Capitol Hill. So she's going to face a lot of tough questions today. We're going to follow it very, very closely. And gets grilled about President Obama shaking hands with what Republicans called these enemies of America. You want to hear what she said.
Isn't it true that having the President of the United States be seen on the world stage warmly greeting a virulent anti-American socialist dictator, that intentionally or unintentionally our President was used for propaganda purposes, to borrow the phrase that you used? And isn't it also true that, as Natan Sharansky observed memorably in his book, Case for Democracy, there's almost nothing more demoralizing to people that are fighting for freedom in their own country than to see the leader of the free world in friendly association with the very people that are oppressing them. Sharansky said we could, quote, never fully prepare ourselves for the disappointment that came from seeing the free world abandon its own values in that context. And so, in a very real sense, I wanted to invite, in a respectful way, your thoughts about that, recognizing that you serve this president, but also expressing to you my profound concern that this administration allowed itself, intentionally or unintentionally, to be used to prop up and promote the image and the interests of a virulent anti-American, a socialist dictator in Venezuela.
I'm going to give the Secretary a little bit of time because you characterized an earlier comment that she made, to respond.
Thank you, Chairman.
Well, Mr. Pence, I have lived a long time now. I grew up at the height of the Cold War, when we were on the hair trigger alert of nuclear war. I remember virulent anti-American communist dictators threatening our country on a regular basis. And I remember our presidents meeting with them, shaking their hands, and negotiating. They did not do so without conditions or without strong principles, but they did so. I've also seen us establish normal relations with Vietnam. I have seen the 30 years of normalized relations with China, and I don't think there is any contradiction between standing strongly for our principles and our values and pursuing the give and take of diplomatic encounter and negotiation where appropriate. I think that your strong feelings about Hugo Chavez are certainly understood, because he has clearly been someone who has behaved in ways that don't accord with our values and our principles. But so were the Soviet leaders, and so did so many others with whom we eventually created an environment in which we could see some changes that benefited the United States of America. That is my bottom line, Mr. Pence. My bottom line is I am here to serve my country, which I have loved ever since I was a little girl. And I'm going to support my president because he is committed to doing whatever he can in the time he is given to serve to make this a better, safer, more secure world. There are different approaches. I respectfully say we spent 8 years trying to isolate Chavez, and what has been the result? I don't think it's been in America's interests. So we're going to try some different things, and I respect your disagreement. We want as bipartisan a foreign policy as possible, and we have, wherever we can, reached out, and will continue to do so to members of this committee and others. We want your constructive criticism. We want your feedback. But President Obama won the election. He beat me in a primary in which he put forth a different approach. And he is now our president, and we all want our president, no matter of which party, to succeed. especially in such a perilous time. So I appreciate your strong feelings, but I think that we are pursuing a course that may very well open up some additional opportunities that we hope will be in our interests and advance our values and protect our security.
Thank you.
The time of the gentleman has expired.
It's not over until the lady in the pantsuit says it is.